Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, you know the drill. Smash that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know every time we do a video. There will be no like goal on this video. However, you guys did crush the last one. We didn't quite get to the 500, but we are nearly halfway there, so thank you all for participating in that. Today though, we're going to be discussing a certain 5-star 2024 prospect who postponed his commitment, why that's a good thing for Michigan. Another 5-star who Michigan just had an in-home visit with, in 5-star athlete Nyckoles Harbor, plus a commitment. Michigan football picked up a commitment from 4-star defensive lineman Ted Hammond. We'll break all of that down for you, and I'm upset. The other state fans trolling Michigan on the Maize Madman comment section is disrespect. I'm gonna tell them why I'm mad. I'm mad because a fan of the other state got onto the Maize Madman channel, got into the Maize Madman comment section under the post about Michigan landing 4-star defensive lineman out of Ohio, Ted Hammond, and had this to say: I wonder if booger eating, khaki pants spent the night with this young man. Of course, alluding to our head coach, Jim Harbaugh. During the early years of him accepting the job, he famously spent the night at a recruit's house, jumped into swimming pools, climbed trees, all of the things that made Jim Harbaugh the quirky and popular guy that he is and was during that time. This is clearly a jab. I just laughed it off. But shout out to Adam in the comment section, Maize Madman Adam, who delivered some facts upon this poor soul, one big Bucks fan. And Adam gave him the scores of the last 2 contests, advised that those Ohio kids want to play for a better team. So shout out to you, Adam, who obviously had some other back and forth with this guy, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into exactly why we're here today. Moving right along, let's talk about a certain 5-star who pushed back his commitment date. He was supposed to commit this upcoming weekend and also visit a rival to Michigan in Notre Dame. Many people had Notre Dame as the runaway favorite for that commitment at that time. However, Justin Scott, 5-star defensive lineman out of Illinois in the 2024 class, decided to push back that commitment. He spoke with Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh earlier in the week, and I'm sure that that's one of the reasons that this commitment was pushed back, as Michigan was seen as the biggest threat to Notre Dame during that time. Since then, teams like Georgia and Florida have offered Scott. Also, you can't forget about Alabama and Ohio State. All of those teams are in the mix. Right now, Michigan and Georgia are seen as the main threats to Notre Dame in this commitment. I'll keep you posted as more information is made available in regards to 5-star defensive lineman Justin Scott. Obviously, Michigan recruits the Illinois, the Chicagoland area very well, but so does Notre Dame, and they're closer in proximity to that area. Like I said, they are the favorites still. However, I do think Michigan has a shot, especially if Jim Harbaugh can work some of his magic, and I'll keep you posted. Before we get into the next block, I want to remind everybody, hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It doesn't cost you a penny to be a little friendly. Now, moving on, we're going to discuss 5-star athlete out of Washington, D.C., Nyckoles Harbor. As you may know, head coach Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan staff went for an in-home visit with Nyckoles Tuesday night. It looks like Jim took the entire offensive staff in terms of the skill positions, as along with Jim Harbaugh, Ron Bellamy, the receivers coach, Sharon Moore, the offensive line coach, and Grant Newsome, the tight ends coach, were all on deck for this one. Being told by some fans and some people close, as I am also in the DC area here, that the visit was productive. They discussed things like Harbor training for the Olympics, which is his primary goal for 2024. Apparently, Coach Harbaugh communicated to the Harbor family that he would be okay with Nyckoles focusing primarily on track during his freshman year, which I'm sure was a great thing. We already know that the family are huge fans of Michigan academically, and it's also being said around rather that the track portion wasn't as daunting for Michigan as it may have been originally thought. Michigan's men's track team opened the season ranked in the top 25 this year, and the women's team ranked even higher than that. And you saw the viral video going around, I'm sure everyone did, of the women's 4x4 race where in the first leg a young lady slipped and fell, and Michigan still somehow was able to pull off that. So Nyckoles's current track coach, who also has ties to Michigan, expressed that track wasn't going to be a huge hurdle for Michigan because of things like that, right? The assistant coach for the Michigan track team is also from the area and has done a tremendous job in getting Michigan on the right track, pun intended there, in terms of the track and field team. And that shouldn't be a huge hurdle for Michigan, although I'm sure places like Miami are ideal for sprinting, of course. Even Oregon has made a late push, and I'm told that they are to be considered a serious challenge at this point, even though early in his commitment, Nyckoles said that he couldn't do the state of Oregon. But, things change, and obviously Oregon does a tremendous job with recruiting and the possibilities with NIL there. Speaking of NIL and Nyckoles Harbor, that subject was also broached, if you will, and Michigan did a decent job of explaining about guys who are currently making NIL money and the possibilities for Nyckoles to succeed in terms of NIL at the University of Michigan. We'll also keep you posted on this one. And finally, let's talk about 4-star defensive lineman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, St. Xavier, Ted Hammond, and his commitment on Wednesday. After visiting for the junior day over the weekend, Ted Hammond picked the Wolverines over schools like Boston College, Cincinnati, Iowa, Kentucky, Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Washington, among others. He talked about his decision and why defensive line coach Mike Elston played such a significant role in his choice, saying, quote, "I picked Michigan because of the great academics and great culture of the football team. Also, the location is only 3 hours away from my house, so my family will be able to attend the games. I came to the decision after a great visit and many conversations with Coach Elston." He was very excited. He's glad to get an Ohio guy from a great program in Cincinnati. I really like Coach Elston. I have a very strong relationship and connection with him. This is a huge get for Michigan for obvious reasons, right? Michigan has been successful now getting back into the state of Ohio, which traditionally Michigan did very well before a lot of us were born. And, some of the older fans know this. Players like Charles Woodson even are from Ohio. The last two Heisman Trophy winners from the University of Michigan actually were both from Ohio, in Charles Woodson and Desmond Howard. So getting back into the state of Ohio is a huge, huge win for Michigan. And this marks the fourth commitment from the state of Ohio for Michigan in recent months. So it's very exciting. There's still some work to be done, including Brian Robinson, also from the state of Ohio, Ben Roebuck from the state of Ohio. So we'll keep you posted on that and how that transpires over the next couple of months as well. Make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. What do you think about Ted Hammond, 4-star defensive lineman out of Ohio? What do you think about Michigan putting emphasis back into the state of Ohio and recruiting it? Also, what do you think Michigan's chances are for landing 5-star athlete Nyckoles Harbor and even defensive lineman Justin Scott? Until next time, I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go to the roof.
All right, now I'm gonna calm down. I just don't get that all that Maize and that lock and all that puff. I just don't get it. unfair.
Just calm
And how the